On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino, we break down the new additions to OU's coaching staff now that they are official, and we give you the latest updates on OU's roster. In the National College Football Roundup, we discuss the college football QB carousel and talk about the highlights from bowl games this weekend, and we finish up giving you our winners and losers of the weekend. Please download and subscribe to the podcast, rate it 5 stars, and write us a good review. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those, and you'll find us. All right. Our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Monday, December 20th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and your health and safety are Riverwind's #1 priorities. There are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, blackjack match, roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And Fridays in December from 6 p.m. to midnight, you can win your share of $60,000 in cash and bonus play in Riverwind's $60,000 Rudolph's Riches promotion. Drawings are every 30 minutes, and grand prize winners will be selected at 11:59. If you need help finding your way, just visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, still the one. And they gave us really awesome Christmas baskets.
Those were really cool. Some good chocolates in there. A bottle of vino to go with it. Awesome stuff. They're the best.
We love our presenting sponsor. Thank you, Riverwind. Now, recording this Sunday night, please leave us a 5-star review and a nice comment. Also, if you want to sponsor the podcast, you can email the Oklahoma Breakdown at gmail.com. Ted, we have gained a lot of YouTube subscribers. I would say a suspicious amount in the last 2 weeks. And so there is that. We've been told that, hey, the YouTube channel, people like to see what we're doing when we're talking about OU football and college football and all this other stuff we talk about. So if you want to see us while we do the podcast, you can check us out on YouTube. Just search the Oklahoma Breakdown and you'll find us.
That's so funny. A suspicious amount. It's crazy. But I'll tell you though, dude, since Lincoln left that Sunday, I feel like it's just been crazy since then. Like Twitter and like all social media, YouTube, podcast, everything's just been. It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. So, hey, if you like listening to us, but you can always watch us on YouTube. All right, let's get to the OU stuff, and probably the best place to start, the staff announcements, right? These OU staff additions are now official since the university has announced them. And let's start with one man. You got to start with one guy, and that is Jerry Schmidt. He is officially back, and I'm happy for the kids because they're going to get pushed to their limits. They're going to become physically tougher, mentally tougher, emotionally and spiritually tougher. And probably the biggest negative for them is the Malcolm Kelly rap will now be ruined for them for forever, which is, I mean, how it is for all of us. So it is no longer fun.
Yeah, it's going to be ramped up. It's going to be difficult.
Well, I shouldn't say no longer fun. Schmidt has a lot of fun. It's just, there's a lot of misery in the fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, no. I tried to make, I tried to make it sound better, but it just,
the good thing about it, the fun thing about it is it's always going to be something that you look back on. It's fun when you're done with it, right? That's whenever it gets good. But I love whenever, as soon as they made the announcement, I love the picture that's getting passed around of him where he's in the sport coat and he's got his head like tilted. And he's got that smirk on his face. It's just like, oh my God, that is just beautiful.
Just looks like a guy that is like the head of the fraternity that is about to haze the shit out of everyone.
It's so good. I love it.
Oh, it's good. And, I really like the statement that Schmidt put out there. I thought a lot of the fans read that and it just got people fired up. And there was one thing that kind of stood out to me about what he said, Ted, and that's what he said about Venables. And the quote was, Brent's reputation around the country is about toughness. And that's what OU's about: toughness, working hard. And I never thought Schmidt was coming back. Like I never thought, because he had a really good thing going at A&M. He was getting paid really, really well down there. They had kind of built something there in College Station. But I think that just tells you, because we're starting to hear, the things we're saying about BV, right? But it's like everyone that has been around Venables has something like this to say about him. And I think it just tells you everything you need to know about Brent Venables, not only as a coach, but just as a man, that Jerry Schmidt was like, oh yeah, I'll leave A&M. Easy choice. I want to be with Brent Venables. Like that it kind of shows that relational thing he keeps talking about, right? The relationships he develops with people. For Jerry Schmidt to just pick up from A&M and leave that whole situation, I mean, that's really surprising to me, but it's all about Venables, man.
Yeah, and I don't think Schmidt would have come back for any other coach, right, than Venables. I think, and I would like to know how like, have they had this conversation before? Hey, if I ever get a head coaching job, would you come with me? Or was this like oh my gosh, this whole thing's happening? First call has got to be to Schmidt, see if he's in. And how awesome would that be? Just to like hear that conversation, or, Coach Schmidt, whenever that phone lights up and it's Venables, it's so cool. And yes, those two guys are, it's a perfect match, man. It really is. If you want a championship, you call Jerry Schmidt. The guy's won them pretty much everywhere, but even he couldn't get one at Texas A&M. That's how bad Texas A&M is. But he did a good job turning it around down there. It's going to be awesome to watch this thing grow.
So we have received all kinds of requests for Schmidt stories, and we'll sprinkle them in. It's like, this isn't just going to turn into a podcast about horror stories of working out for Jerry Schmidt. I as entertaining as that would be, I don't think that would be the best use of our time. But I will throw this one out there. The first time, I had never met Jerry Schmidt till the first time we went and worked out. And he threw a 45-pound plate at me the first time I worked out.
So how does that happen?
So this is what happened. And I know that now, he never told me this, and Kevin Wilson never told me this, but I am 100% sure that Kevin Wilson told him to make my life miserable. I am 100% sure, because when he threw it at me, he was like, too much talking, dog. All you do is talk. I had literally never met the guy. Like, I'd never met him. He's like, just always talking. I was like, I haven't, what? So I think Wilson was like, hey, and I did talk a lot, but I wasn't talking in that workout. I know that. I could barely breathe. Wasn't talking. But he kind of set the tone with me, and I dodged the plate. It was more like at the feet. He wasn't trying to hurt me.
What were you doing?
Anything.
Where were you just standing there and he threw it? I was
standing there like racking the weight. He was like, need to move faster, dog. Need to talk less. All you do is talk. I was like, what?
So he pulled it off the bar and just threw it at you?
Basically, yeah. And you know what I did? I started racking the weight faster, Ted.
Oh, that's so funny.
But it's just a classic example.
Well, I know it was probably the same for you. so the way a workout in the summer is typically structured is there's like speed work or like agility work is first. They kind of rotate days. Sometimes it's like straight line speed stuff, like explosiveness. And then the other time it's like side to side, change of direction stuff. And they alternate between those. But you have a period of that. And then you go lift. And then when you're done lifting, you go condition, right? That's the same for you guys. So whenever you're done with the speed work or the agility work, change of direction work, totally smoked. But then you go in and you're usually in cleats. So then you change into shoes and you go in and you lift. So there's this weird thing where everyone like lifts so fast. It's like as fast as you can burn through your sheet. And there's strength coaches, everyone's standing there. So you get like an extra 45 seconds to put your cleats on, right? It's all about that little window to put your cleats on, because if you're not ahead of the curve and everyone's like gone and getting to where you're going to condition and you're stuck there trying to put your cleats back on, it makes conditioning that much worse. It's a weird to think about, but I'm sure you guys did the same thing, right?
I would always try to get done as fast as I could in the weight room. That way I could say a little prayer to myself when I was putting my cleats on. Just like, oh, Lord, please don't let me die today. Today's not the day, please.
It's crazy though, an hour-long lift and everyone is racing each other. So there's a small amount of comfort changing back into cleats.
We'll see. Hey, maybe he's changed a little bit. I don't know. Maybe there's a more, who knows? Maybe he'll come let us, by the way, people are like, I want to go through a Schmitty workout. What? No, you don't. Why would you want to do that?
What do you mean? Who said that?
People on social media are like, oh, I would love to. Like, I would love to just do it once. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. Yeah, why would you want to have to put yourself through that? It's awful.
You can't do it once.
Okay, I've got an idea. So we should try to convince Schmitty to let them do like one workout where people can pay like X amount of dollars. First of all, you got to sign a liability
waiver.
You got to sign a waiver, but you do like the exact same lift that exact same workout the players did that day, but you got to pay like $100 or $200, something like that. Or maybe we go premium. It's like $500 to do it. And all the money goes to charity. And then me and you get to watch and like commentate it.
I would love that, because if you are, I don't care how good a shape you're in, doesn't matter. If you're not, you can't, it's a 2-hour workout, man. Where you're stretched and warmed up, and then Schmitty like kicks a door open and comes flying in out of nowhere, or like repels in from the ceiling, and it's game on for 2 straight hours. It's long.
If it's for charity, maybe we can get this done. Maybe not.
Be good.
Probably opens you up to a little too much liability. Like probably a little too much liability than the university is comfortable with. But
hey,
it's not the worst idea I've ever had.
People want to pay to go in there. And, yeah, I'm sure he'd do that.
I wonder how much people would pay. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I actually I've got some a free segment between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. That's whenever we can do it.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Oh, I will say this. I will miss getting to watch some portions of the workout on Instagram, like in Instagram stories. It was always actually kind of fun to pop on Benny Wiley's. I remember the first time someone alerted me that was happening. I was like, if Jerry Schmidt knew that was happening, I don't even know. Like, can you imagine if someone goes in there with like a cell phone and is trying to record the guys working out, like what he's going to do?
No, you couldn't even figure out what the workout the next day was going to, you couldn't even figure out the workout the day you were working out from the earlier groups. It's like top secret.
Oh,
How many we running today, Coach? No way. There's no way you get an answer for that.
never ask
Ever.
that. Never ask
No.
that.
No.
Ooh. All right, let's move on before we start just like sweating. Okay, Newcastle's finest, Brandon Hall, joining Britt Venable's staff as the safeties coach. He's been the defensive coordinator at Troy the last 3 seasons. Had some pretty solid success in his role there. This is a guy who's also been heavily involved in special teams. He was in the quality control role one season when I was playing, but he was on the defensive side. I had very, very little interaction with him, but he was on the OU staff as a GA when you were playing, Ted. So I assume you know him somewhat. I know it's been a long time. Not saying you're old or anything, but you are. But how big of an addition is this for BV?
Brandon Hall was like for my tenure at OU, my 4 seasons there, I had the most interaction with Schmidt was number 1, Venables is number 2, Brandon Hall was number 3. And any linebacker that played there during that tenure, he was very, very big, instrumental in development of the players there. Anything that has to do with the defense, he's an awesome guy. He's super outgoing, super smart, good recruiter. I think he's fantastic. I actually knew Brandon Hall. I've known him since he was a student assistant for John Blake before Blake's last season. So I went to that football camp before Blake's last season, and like Brandon Hall was like in charge of my group or whatever. So I knew him pretty well going way back to my sophomore year in high school. So I've known him for a long, long time. Thrilled that they made this hire. He's great. He worked directly with Venables from '99 until until Venables left. Or did he left a year or 2 earlier? Is that right?
I think he came back for Venables last year. And right. I think 2011 was when he was on the staff when I was there.
Okay. Yeah. And then he went to Arkansas State for a while. He was with Malzahn when they went to Auburn. So he's got a lot of experience, but very, very instrumental in the defense. And he is like, he walks and talks Venables language, which is not easy, but they're like linked at the brain. It's good.
That is, you usually want coaches that are linked at the brain, but him coaching safeties, we've talked a lot about how important safety play was this year for the Sooners, and BV puts a lot on his safeties as well. So to have a guy like Brandon Hall be in charge of that group, I'm excited. I don't really know the guy, but I've heard great things about him from other guys that were playing at that time. So seems like a hire that OU fans should be really excited about.
Yep. Very smart. Understands. Obviously he's coming from he was the defensive coordinator. So there's a depth in his background that he can coach the whole defense. So you're going to have multiple guys with that type of experience. So excellent.
Yeah, that's good. All right. The next official staff addition, Miguel Chavis, was named OU's defensive ends coach. This was a guy that played at Clemson. Guy certainly looks the part. I've seen some pictures of him out on the recruiting trail already. Certainly appears to have a physical presence about him. I find myself looking at his calves in pictures. I don't know why, Ted. It's just the way I am. Guy's got impressive calves. I mean, they just they pop off the screen. But this guy sounds like a really interesting dude. And I haven't met Miguel yet. I don't know if you have, but he was in the seminary before he decided to get into coaching. And I think BV said he was an ordained minister. So who is this guy? Like he looks enormous. I know that he looks like a football coach. He certainly looks like an ex-player, but that guy was going to be a priest.
Yeah. Hey, you never know, but I guess his true calling is coaching football. And, some of these hires, I don't know much about Roof, don't know much about Chavis. I do know Brandon Hall really well, but a lot of this is I'm taking Coach Venables. I trust his judgment. He's not taking any of these hires lightly, especially on the defensive side. So I know he's getting the guys that are going to do it right, that are going to put in the work, that can recruit, that can, echo all of the points that he emphasizes and get that across to the players. So I don't know a whole lot about him, but I think it's like as soon as this thing gets all wrapped up and the bowl game is over, I think we'll get a crash course on all these coaches.
Yeah. I've got questions for Chavis. I have so many questions, but once again, our whole philosophy has been like, hey, we're going to trust Brent Venables. And like you mentioned, especially on the defensive side of things, he wouldn't make Miguel Chavis the defensive ends coach here if he didn't believe in him. And he does seem like a guy that's got an energy about him. And, he's a big dude. And when you look like an ex-player, which he was, I think he had a cup of coffee in the league as well. That matters to high school recruits. When a guy that looks like him comes into your living room, like, it gets your attention. That's just true. That's just how it works.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Here's the other thing is I think this is like, it wasn't announced, but Chavis changed his Twitter bio and was like recruiting, I think, right out of the gate, right? Like maybe the first hire defensively that we knew about. So if he was that high on Venables' list and it's like one of the first guys he went to and said, hey, let's do this. And that guy was like, I'm with you, let's go. I feel good about that. I like it.
A guy that was, because the bio said he was in the seminary. So I have so many questions. I have so many questions, but man, the guy must be able to coach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we'll see.
Coach and recruit. Coach and recruit.
That's all that matters. That's the name of the game, man. Okay, so the staff so far, as it looks, you look on the defensive side, Ted Roof, he's going to, backers, defense coordinator, Brandon Hall, now safeties, Miguel Chavis, now at the defensive ends. So that leaves interior D line and cornerbacks. Is that still, because I think it's safe to assume that BV is not coaching a position, right? So we would assume he's going to make 2 more additions to the defensive staff.
Yep. That's what I think. I could be wrong. And I don't know on defensive line. I don't know who he's thinking. I think the guy that was there at Clemson is staying at Clemson. I really thought Thibodeau had a really good chance of maybe being able to stick around. I don't know. I honestly don't know what direction he's going to go there.
Yeah. And then looking at the offense, Lebby, Gundy, Beanbo, DeMarco, Joe John. So the only 2 spots are the defensive line and the cornerback. So we'll see. And I'm sure that'll take place here in the next couple of weeks. I wonder if guys maybe that BV's looking at are coaching in the college football playoff or something like that. I don't know where that would kind of delay it. That's really the only reason I could think of those positions not being filled, or there not being like a couple names that we could just think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think there's going to be another addition on offense or no?
I don't know. It would. So you lose. We've talked about how Kale can pretty much do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I'm sure, they discussed is maybe adding a little more diversity to the offensive side of stuff.
Yep.
And because it would be right. Yeah. DeMarco's the only black coach you got on the offensive side. Right.
Yep.
And you would like to have a little more diversity, right? When you're going into living rooms and stuff like that stuff matters. We don't have to pretend that it doesn't. So I don't know. I don't know. Would it be a wide receivers coach? I know a lot of people have said, "Hey, bring Malcolm Kelly back." I don't know if that's realistic. Like, or is Kale? Are we just assuming that Kale's the wide receivers coach?
If this is how if it's going to stay this way, I think it would be set there. The only way I would think that they brought someone in is if they moved Gundy maybe to a special teams coach or something like that. But because I don't think Levy does the 2 wide receiver coach thing. He doesn't do like inside and outside wide receivers coach. So that would require Gundy move, but maybe Venables is likes it how it is and set that way, and which is no problem. I think that's still an awesome lineup there. A really good recruiting. That's a heck of a recruiting offensive coaching staff. Really good.
Yeah. So I guess the only piece, yeah, it seems like Kale is a piece you can kind of just put wherever, and he's going to recruit at a really high level, and he's going to coach the hell out of whatever you give him, right? How many positions has he had since he's been at OU? So he can coach anything. So, and
Yep.
that's a compliment, right? So I don't know. That's something I really hadn't thought that much about, but I do feel, and I know that, they've all been announced that they've been retained, but I think there's still a school out west trying to get a couple of these guys' services.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I I don't know. I don't know why, and I can't speak for anyone. Obviously, everyone has their own reasons, but I don't know why anyone would pick up and leave OU to go to you. I can think of a million reasons why you wouldn't do it. I don't know of one of why you would. So I don't know.
The weather's nice. Other than that,
Weather. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
that's the only one though, right?
That's it.
They got great weather. But yeah, it sounds like still after a couple of them. But
Well,
I'm
here's the thing.
sure
I mean, I'm sure everyone. He's probably dying out there to have DeMarco, but you think DeMarco is? There's no way. He even if he wanted to, right?
no, I'm with you. Like OU legend. Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want to do that to your legacy at your alma mater. But
right.
this is the truth. Joe Castiglione and the administration, they're gonna have to take care of these guys, right? I mean, that's just where it's at. We've talked about how heading into the SEC, they're gonna have to start paying some more money. They're gonna have to start, paying their coaches more. And listen, being a coach at Oklahoma, it's an honor, right? We can all agree on that. But they can't just lean on that moving forward.
Mm-mm.
You can't. You got to pay these guys. That's how the SEC works. So, yes, it's an honor. It's a privilege to coach at Oklahoma. There's no doubt. It's a distinguished job to be one of the 10 coaches at OU. But you got to pay. You got to pay these guys, right? And I'm sure that those are discussions that are taking place.
Yeah. Well, that all of that you would think should have been handled and diced through during Coach Venable's negotiation as head coach. I mean, one of the things that's is almost as big as your salary is what is the pool of money you're being given to pay your assistants. I mean, that's critical. And all of that, the cost of business is going up, baby, big time.
Yep. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I don't want to make it sound like I am worried about it, but it's just one of those things where, yeah, like you said, the pool for the assistants needs to grow. And if you want to keep big time assistant coaches around, you got to pay them. That's how it works in the SEC.
Well, that's part of why, there's a lot said about, well, why didn't Venables take a head coaching job earlier? And, he had opportunities. What was he afraid of? Well, part of the equation is he was the highest paid assistant coach in the country every single year. That's
making like $2.5 million.
Yeah, as a DC. So yeah, that's part of it. If you want to keep good coaches around, it has to make sense financially for them.
Yep. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the roster. All the coaching stuff has been so wild. We've kind of forgotten to talk about what's going on with the guys on the actual team. So let's get to that. But first, the only place to stop when you're road tripping is Love's Travel Stops. Love's has over 560 locations in 41 states, offering 24-hour access to clean and safe places. Whatever your road trip needs are, Love's has it. Fuel, fresh food, all the drinks and snacks, including my favorite, Java Amore. That coffee is fantastic. Love's also has you covered if you forget your phone charger or headphones. They've expanded their mobile to-go zone so you can grab any of that stuff there. Make sure you download the Love's Connect app for exclusive offers from today's most popular brands. The Love's Connect app also includes a route planner and store locator. When you see the red neon heart on the highway, stop and say hi at Love's Travel Stops. For a full list of what Love's has to offer, visit loves.com and make sure you bank at First Fidelity Bank. First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank also provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank at First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information. Yeah, so I realized we haven't really talked about anything roster-wise. Jaden Hazelwood left. I don't think we mentioned it. There was a lot going on to our defense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. As fast as that happened, it's almost like it didn't matter what was going to go down with Lincoln. He was gone, right? He knew where he was going, and that deal seemed like it was set up.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he's going to play in a system that is very, very similar to the system that Levy is bringing to Oklahoma.
Yeah, with a quarterback that's about half as good.
Yeah. So do you think, and listen, I like Jaden Hazelwood. I think when you look at his OU career, he never became the guy we all hoped he would be. Right? I mean, he just never reached the potential. Remember, this guy was the number one wide receiver in the country. Right? Yeah. When you are the number one wide receiver in the country, that comes with certain expectations. And the expectation that I have for a guy like that, when you're ranked that highly in the recruiting rankings, is that you are going to be a first round pick. Like, that's my expectation. If you're coming in and you're that hyped as a wide receiver, you need to be a first rounder. And he is far from that currently. And I think his progress, the injury derailed it a little bit, because the coaches had been telling us how good he looked, how he was taking that step, how he was going to be a monster, going into last season, and then blows the knee out. And he did some good things this season, but he at points in time, he almost just seemed like just a guy to me. Now he's got good size, and I love how he blocks. Like, he plays his ass off, and that's something to be admired, but he wasn't close to, first round pick material. So I don't know. He never became what we were hoping he'd be.
Well, I think I think this system is actually great for him. Lincoln has a really good system. but it's a system, right? There's a bunch of built-in things for it. There's built-in route concepts. What we're about to see is it's way more like backyard football than it is like some intricate offensive scheme. They're going to walk to the line, and if they like to match up the guy that's on Hazelwood, for instance, he just takes off down the field. They throw it up, let him go make a play. I mean, it's at times that simple. And when you can just let guys go be athletes and go be wide receivers and just say, we're going to throw it down there, you go find a way to bring it in. I think a lot of guys thrive in that type of system. It's a little more like what you see in the NFL at times. So it's frustrating that he's gone. I think this would have been his best chance to really burst onto the scene. But if you're not happy, you're not happy. And if Arkansas is a place that he feels like is going to give him the best opportunity, I wish him the absolute best of luck. But it probably would have been great to stay.
I agree with you on that. Okay, I just looked at it. Hazelwood in his 3 years had 736 yards receiving. Do you think he gets more than that next year at Arkansas?
Maybe. Probably. They had a guy. Treylon
Burks is going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah. And even Woods had a really good year. I think he was a 600 or 700 yard receiver last year. Woods wasn't he?
Yeah, before he transferred. Yeah, something like that. We used to have that stat memorized when he was coming because we were like, he's going to be amazing.
Right. Which, it's funny because they were not happy whenever he left and came to Oklahoma. So, I guess what goes around comes around, but I wish him the best of luck. It does feel like a system that he could have a lot of success in. I think he has a chance to have a lot of success in the system there. He could have done it here.
Yep, I'm with you. Okay, another wide receiver, Theo Weiss. He was in the portal, but announced he's coming back. And I'm not sure whether that means he's going to try to play in the bowl game or not. If I were him, I wouldn't. Right. And hear me out on that. Like, now I say that if you're healthy enough to play, you always want to play. Right. I understand that. But man, he's missed the whole year with that foot. Like, and it just would be like, if he doesn't feel comfortable, you know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't feel like he's all the way back, like, I don't feel like this is the time. Hey, let's go test it. Right. Like, get into the off season healthy. I don't know. I have a weird feeling on Theo Weiss for the Alamo Bowl. I'm not sure why, but I just think that I think everyone feels great about the fact that he is staying, but I just, from a health perspective, I don't know if this is like all of a sudden, I don't think Theo Weiss is going to have like 8 catches in the Alamo Bowl or something like that. I don't see that.
I agree. If you're not ready, you haven't had any game action.
He hadn't played at all.
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything if you do play, right? I don't know what his practice, what was he practicing leading up to it? He had to be getting close to it if he was. So maybe you go practice a little bit, but yeah, I wouldn't be any crazy hurry to get back out there and try and make something happen here. But I am interested to see, because there's a lot of carryover. There's a lot of similarities in some things offensively between this system and Lincoln's system. And Joe John knows them both. I wonder if we're going to see some of that called in this game with OU's terminology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. Right. If you already have the concept in,
get a jump on it.
Yeah. You've got couple weeks to game plan for Oregon. Why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's you basically are getting a free spring. Now you're not going to install it all, but you can practice the concepts under a different terminology and essentially end up running maybe something really similar to what you're going to be learning in the spring.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, next Sunday, Oregon preview, our boy Jeff Schwartz joining us.
Yeah.
The Duck himself.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. Also, Marvin Mims. He had been being, what's the best word? Courted by some of his, some guys that knew him in high school. People are tweeting at him, hey, come to TCU, come to Texas, like all these different places. I think that they feel pretty good about him staying put. I think they feel pretty good. I think that, he's gotten a crash course in what Levy's offense could be for him. And when you look at, some of the smaller wide receivers that have had success in this type of offense over the years, like I can't imagine Marvin Mims looks at it and goes, yeah, no, I don't want to, I don't want to play in that system. Nope.
Right.
Like I can't see that. I once again, don't know about the bowl game. I would assume that if he's staying, he's playing, but who knows? But I feel good about Mims being part of this team moving forward.
Yeah, and he had a pretty good statement the other day about, being anxious and ready to start working with Schmidt and yeah, I think this could be a good system for him. I mean, there's been a bunch of guys that are smaller that have been in systems that are similar to this, and there's a lot of go balls, a ton of them. And if you've got a speed mismatch, we're going to you. You got a size mismatch, we're going to you. You got a mismatch where they're giving you too much space and you can go after the catch, we're going to you right now. I mean, it's all about matchups, and he can win a bunch of different ways. So he's a guy that this could be great for.
Yep. All right. Last thing, and we haven't mentioned this at all either, but a few guys opting out of the bowl game, right? You got Perion Winfrey, Brian Asamoah, Nick Benito, and Isaiah Thomas. That's arguably your four best players on defense. And when you're trying to go win a football game and your four best players on defense aren't going to play, that's not ideal. I mean, it's not ideal. I don't really know what else to say. I'm not going to judge the guys for opting out. I mean, this is the first time that OU's even played in the Alamo Bowl. So, I mean, what am I really going to say to them? Now, none of them are first round picks. I know that. So it is, it's a little different. I mean, you got some day 3 guys opting out of a bowl game, but it is what it is, right? A guy like Isaiah Thomas, man, he's served his time. The guy's been here for forever. What one more game isn't going to make or break his draft stock. So I'm not even going to pretend to try to be upset at any of these guys. I'm not
upset. I don't lose
hate
any
it.
sleep about it, but I hate it. I think it's dumb. I think more than anything, it's not about avoiding injury. It's not about getting a jump start on training for the combine. It's to be able to say that you're opting out for the draft. Like if you're Isaiah Thomas and Thibodeau for Oregon's a top 10 pick, he's opting out. Well, what does that make me if I'm playing in the game and he's opting out? I look like chopped liver out there playing in the Alamo Bowl. If I'm big time, I'm opting out. So for everyone to appear big time, you opt out. It's the thing to do. It looks good. Looks like you're a top 10 pick.
Yeah. I think Benito's probably the highest pick out of that group. And I would bet you the majority of teams have him 3rd round, probably would be my guess. I've talked to a couple personnel guys that have him 3rd round. A couple of them have him 4th round. So now you can, there's no doubt you can boost the hell out of your stock at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine. Like we've seen it year after year after year. But yeah, that's where it is interesting that, you look at these guys and typically your opt-outs are first round guys are like borderline first round guys. And as of now, from what I can tell, that's not where these guys are at currently. So once again, I mean, they've all played a lot of football, and bad things can happen. I understand that, but yeah, it is interesting, right? A little.
It's the dumbest trend in the history of college football.
In the history of college football? I can't think of something dumber, but there's got to be something dumber.
Something dumber than third or fourth round picks opting out of bowl games?
Let me think about it.
If you're a first round
something.
pick, if you're a first round pick and you're like 3 years ago or 5 years ago, however long it was a huge deal that Christian McCaffrey opted out of the Sun Bowl, right? That was a huge deal. It was like nationwide news. Should he not? Should he opt out? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What does he have to gain from the Sun Bowl? Like, that's like a guaranteed first round pick in a much crappier bowl than the Alamo Bowl. And now we've got 4 guys on one team, and none of them are probably going to go in the third round or higher. That's a ridiculous trend.
Yeah. No, there's a reason.
And it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow.
Yeah.
The COVID year gave everyone, like, that was because everyone started after that.
Do you think these guys would be playing if it was the Sugar Bowl? Like something that is now, unfortunately, like, it doesn't mean as much as what it did even, 7-8 years ago. Right.
Sure.
Do you think if it was kind of a bigger stage of a game, not the Alamo Bowl, that these guys would be playing?
Oh, well, not if it wasn't a playoff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. But I don't know. I think something about it being the Alamo Bowl, and no offense to the Alamo Bowl. Can't wait to get down in San Antonio and see what the Alamo Bowl has to offer. But I don't know. If it was like a New Year's 6 game, I don't know.
We were in the Cotton last year in New Year's 6, and Trey Brown, how many did we have? There wasn't very, was there 2 or 3?
Yeah, you're right. That happened.
Ronnie Perkins, Trey Brown, and Florida had a ton of them, right?
Yeah. And then if you ask Dan Mullen, anyone that was good on their team. But
right.
Well, I wonder what Dan Mullen's doing right now. Probably enjoying his buyout. But yeah, these guys probably opt out no matter what, huh? Which, hey, I hope they kill it in the pre-draft process. And I hope they are all first-round picks, because that would be really good for Oklahoma. So who knows? But they're not playing.
Well,
so
the trend is going to continue, and it's going to get worse. And I think that's why there's a huge push to expand the playoff. Because if you're asking guys to take a month off, then go play in a game that really doesn't mean anything for like winning a championship, and it's really been devalued with the playoff. It's a tough ask. It is. I understand. I mean, I do understand the premise of it, and I think that's why they're trying to tie more games to the playoff, especially for. I mean, would you sponsor a game if you knew all of the best players on both teams are going to opt out?
How do you think the Peach Bowl feels? Right?
I know.
No Kenneth Walker III for Michigan State. No Kenny Pickett for Pitt. Do you think the people at Chick-fil-A are just like, well, what did we do?
No, yeah, it went from like a really cool matchup, a really good quarterback versus a really good running back. Like, we're going to be watching these guys on Sunday. This is awesome. To all of a sudden, there's zero reason to watch that football game.
If I was running the Peach Bowl, I would leave Kenny Pickett and Kenneth Walker III in all the advertisements and just hope a bunch of people, like the casual football fans, didn't know they weren't playing in the game. I just leave them in there.
We'll just act like they are right up until
Yeah.
even during kickoff. Show some random guy from Michigan State warming up. There's Kenneth Walker. What a player! He's gonna maybe go for 200 bills tonight.
Yeah. My goodness. All right, let's get to call your shot. And we asked what the most exciting thing that happened for OU football this week was. And I really liked this one response we got, Ted, and it was from Infamous Bale on Twitter at BSBEALL. Said, in a week full of excitement, who would have guessed 3 letters from the signees would be what sent Sooner Nation into overdrive? And I'm guessing what he is referencing is all those kids tweeting LOL. I don't know what it means. I don't really care either.
What is this? Well, I guess I missed all this.
So some recruits like the Kobe McKenzie guy that you love, they are acting like a bunch of more guys are coming is basically the message they're putting out for the fan base to read on Twitter. That's basically the gist of it. And it's got a bunch of people all kinds of fired up and trying to figure out who else is coming.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. That it is interesting. I have seen some of that. I think didn't Kobe McKenzie put some out there today like that. Like, I guess the new thing is the lock, and he put that out. And like, there's someone, I don't know. I'll tell you, and I don't know if it's recruits. I don't know any of that, but I have a feeling the transfer portal is going to be fun to watch whenever that really heats up after the bowl season.
Ooh. Little portal action. Hey, BV talked about it. He's clearly not against it. Now he wants to get the right guys, right? Got to fit the culture. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. All right, before we get to the National College Football Roundup, we got to do birthday shout outs.
Yes.
They're flooding. There's too many. But we'll try to get through them. Happy 9th birthday to Keona Doherty. Happy birthday, Keona.
9th birthday. Happy birthday. Awesome.
Happy 24th birthday to Peyton Lerner.
Happy birthday, Peyton.
Happy 58th birthday to Randy Payne. Randy.
Happy birthday, Randy.
Happy birthday, Ted, to our man Toasty Pants. It's Toasty Pants' birthday.
Happy birthday, Toasty Pants.
Happy belated birthday to Lisa Elrod, Jacob Mincer, and Lucas Mincer.
All right. Happy birthday, guys. Sorry we missed you on the first time around.
I really hope I typed that right. I hope it was Mincer and not Mesner. I don't know. Guys, if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. Happy birthday to Dan Bolke. What's up, Dan?
Happy birthday, Dan.
And this is a first. The Garza family just wanted a happy December. They've got birthdays like an anniversary. So Eric, Courtney, Riker, Tyler, and Nyla, happy December to the Garzas.
Happy December, Garza family.
Happy 12th anniversary to Amanda and Zeb Burt. Zeb, love that. What a name.
Anniversary, 12 years, Amanda and Zeb. Congratulations.
Happy wedding day to Lauren and Will Riley. They're getting married on Monday. I don't think I've ever heard of that, but happy wedding day.
Happy wedding day. Maybe you guys should have kept her last name instead of Will's last name with Riley, but, I don't know. It'll work. It'll work. Congratulations, guys.
What could go wrong? And congrats on the birth of Hayes Henson. Welcome to the world, Hayes.
Wow. Happy birthday. Welcome to the world. That's awesome.
All right, let's talk some college football news. But first, do you own a business? If you do, you need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. Insurica's clients become best-in-class businesses by working with Insurica's team of advisors to manage risk. Purchasing insurance is only one way to protect your business. Best-in-class businesses win by avoiding a loss in the first place. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. I'm an Insurica client, and you should be too. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com.
Guys, winter is here, but the weather doesn't matter. It's always hard seltzer season, and there's only one hard seltzer that we drink on this podcast, and that is Sonic Hard Seltzer from Coop Ale Works. It's perfect for any occasion. We drink in the hot tub, by the fire, and at the tailgate. You can buy 12 packs of the iconic Sonic drive-in flavors like cherry limeade and ocean water, or you can grab a citrus variety pack or a tropical variety pack. Find it at your local grocery, convenience, and liquor stores.
I had a few Sonic Hard Seltzers this weekend. Went down real nice.
Nice. Ocean water?
I had lime, original lime. It's really good. It may be
Nice.
my favorite one.
Nice.
National College Football Roundup. The QB carousel is spinning out of control. Okay, so this is, I think I've got everything on here. Bo Nix is headed to Oregon, which is a bit of a head scratcher. Now, I know that I understand that Kenny Dillingham was at Auburn in 2019. Now he's going out there to be the offense coordinator, but just an interesting move with a couple of really talented young quarterbacks on that roster. But hey, Bo knows, I suppose.
Culture shock. It's going to be different atmosphere up there, but yeah, it's crazy.
Max Johnson is transferring to Texas A&M. So that means Miles Brennan is no longer in the portal. He has decided to stay at LSU. So how about Max Johnson, Ted, going from SEC West? He's just going a little farther west, and he's going to A&M now.
I think that it does not move the needle at all for Texas A&M. Just my thoughts. I think he does some nice things at times. I think he's got a big arm, but if you're a Texas A&M fan, I don't know that you're saying, yes, finally we got a quarterback that's going to get us over the hump. I kind of feel like, I hate saying this, just a guy.
Yeah. And because he's coming to A&M, Zach Calzada jumped in the portal and in a first. Now, he was the starter for several games of the year, but remember, he was a backup, and he was actually third string because you got to remember, what was the kid's name? Haynes King is the one that got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as Calzada, he actually made a video, like a goodbye, I'm going into the portal video that he put on social media, which is just absolutely hilarious to me.
I don't even know what to say to that. The whole video thing is just, it's ridiculous.
What bugs you more, the I'm going into the portal graphic, or the like minute plus long video that Calzada put out? There's some production value in that.
Probably the video. It's just dumb. If you want to say, hey, thank you to everyone, I'm entering the portal, that's fine. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with that. A video is too much. An announcement that you're not entering the transfer portal is worse than anything. That is the lowest of the low whenever it comes to announcements or videos.
Unless it comes from Caleb Williams, then we fully support it. Right. Oh,
right.
Oh, okay. The carousel. Adrian Martinez transferring to Kansas State. And okay, I don't want to be too tough on Martinez, but the dude is a turnover waiting to happen, whether it's an interception. I think going into the season, he was like on pace to break the FBS lost fumbles record, and maybe he got it. I know he had a bunch more this season, but Will Howard's not good. He's not the guy. We can all agree on that. But if you're a Kansas State fan, are you excited about this? I mean, he's athletic. He's played a lot of football. He's been a captain. Like, there's no doubt. He is a tough dude. I'll give him that. But All the dude does is turn the football over.
Of all of the transfer portal stuff I've seen that we've talked about at quarterback, this one I think is the best move. I think that his size, his athleticism, I think in K-State's system where you can be really conservative, like the way they play. I think it's going to be good for him. Does that mean I think Kansas State's going to win the Big 12? No. Does it mean I think Kansas State's going to even make it to the Big 12 championship game? No, it does not. But I think this is a good, solid move for him and for Kansas State. I think he can, like, they don't need a whole lot from their quarterback. And maybe if you take some off of his plate, use him in the run game, figure out a way to limit the turnovers, I feel like it's a way better option than anything else they have.
Yeah, I mean, he's better than Will Howard. So I guess it's an upgrade. I'm excited to see what Adrian Martinez can be there, because you got to remember, he was supposed to be the savior at Nebraska, right? He was supposed to be the guy that kind of took them to the next level and had them contending for the Big Ten championship and things like that. It just never worked out for him. So it is one of those, hey, maybe he just needed a fresh start. And this sounds dumb, but I think he's going to look good in purple, which is like half the battle.
Here's one of the things that this is why it's really exciting. This is why I think it has a chance to work. He's going to have way better skill guys around him. Nebraska, they've got some big, strong, physical guys, but skill position has not been their strong point. He's going to have a first-team All-American in the background, or in the backfield with him in Deuce Vaughn. They've had multiple guys that have come through there as wide receivers that have done really good things. I think Malik Knowles is done, right? Does he have one more?
All the COVID year stuff, like,
right.
I don't know what age anyone is anymore.
Yeah, if Malik Knowles is back, that just adds another guy there. They'll have some good skill position guys for him. He'll have a better supporting cast than he did at Nebraska.
Yeah. All right, Michael Penix Jr., remember, of Indiana fame last year, didn't go very well this year. He is headed to Washington. We talked about Calzada. He's in the portal now. We'll see where he ends up. And I think I said he was third string. He's got a third string name. He would have been third string next year with Max Johnson coming, but he was their backup this year. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm sorry. That was mean. I apologize. Casey Thompson in the transfer portal. Sounds like he just didn't feel like he had much support there from anyone, like anyone that would have gone to bat for him to be the starter. So hops in the portal, and that becomes an interesting option. Does Casey Thompson make sense at OU? I mean, it all depends on what happens with Caleb Williams, right?
Right. Not right now.
Okay.
He does.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not right now. For both parties.
For both parties. If something weird happens, then maybe, but I don't know. Pretty doubtful.
I will say he's a tough guy. He's an experienced guy. I like the way he goes about his business, right? Low key, just puts the work in. And he played a lot of this season with a messed up throwing hand, and battled through it. So, of course, I've got, I have a certain affection for Casey Thompson because of the family he comes from, because Kendall was a teammate of mine. I've known Casey since he was a little kid. So I want to see him succeed. So I really hope he lands somewhere that puts him in a good spot, right? I hope he lands somewhere and becomes the starter because he seems like he goes about it the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Nebraska.
Ooh. I mean, it's an upgrade for Nebraska, in my opinion. Big
Yeah.
upgrade, especially when it comes to throwing the football.
And he's got some good skill. I mean, what did he throw 5 touchdowns the OU Texas game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a forgettable performance that no one's going to remember because of the way that game ended. But he's very capable, very capable. He'll start at most places, like most like middle of the road type of places that don't have a quarterback. He could go in and start easily for most of those schools. So he's going to have a bunch of options.
Yeah. Okay. And the one name that probably caught most people around here's attention was Dylan Gabriel. So Dylan Gabriel, he was in the transfer portal, was an extremely productive player at UCF, and he has committed to UCLA. And we thought that he may be OU's quarterback next season if Caleb Williams decides to go elsewhere. And the one thing about it is on the little graphic, Ted, because of course there's a graphic for it, and he's photoshopped, or I don't know if he's been on a visit there and he actually had the jersey on, or if it's photoshopped. It's really well done. Guy looks great in UCLA blue, which is just a tremendous color. But it says committed. Nowhere does it say in any form or fashion signed. It says committed. So while he's committed to UCLA and time is certainly, ticking, the clock is ticking, it's not like it's a done deal. Am I understanding that correctly? Because if Caleb Williams, because I fully believe if Caleb Williams lets the coaching staff knows he's leaving, that Dylan Gabriel's coming to Oklahoma. Like, I still believe it. I still believe that, even though he's put out the "I'm committed to UCLA" graphic.
Yeah. Which, and I actually don't know how that works. Like, what the timing has to be. Do you have to wait for the new semester to start? Like, I don't know how that works, but can we talk about this for a second though? Like with Caleb Williams, he's not going anywhere. And I know everyone's kind of worried about it, and well, what's he going to do? There's nowhere to go. Where's he going to go? Is he going to go to USC, a 4-8 football team last year? No, he's not going to USC to start over at USC. There's no way that's happening. You're not going to Ohio State. You're not going to Alabama. You want to go start over at Florida? You want to start over with some of these other teams? There's nowhere to go.
Go play for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan?
Be my guest. He's not going to play for Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's nowhere else to go. He's got the hottest offensive coordinator in the country. OU is going to win. They've won 10, have a chance to win 11 games, be 11-2 football team. They're going to be the favorite to win the Big 12 next year. He's going to be on the short list for the Heisman Trophy. I don't even know why it's a discussion.
I'm with you. Like, him leaving, I think it would be a mistake. The one school, and it just popped into my head when you said it, the one school that, and I listen, I want to make it clear, I know nothing. Like, I haven't heard this or anything like that. But Notre Dame could use an upgrade at the quarterback position.
There's no doubt. But you're not going to go to a place that has no history, recent history at least, of a quarterback putting up big numbers, huge numbers. The guy that just signed a contract to coach here does have that history.
No, I'm with you.
I know everyone's worried about it, and like there's all this drama, and the time is ticking, and when do we find out if Caleb's staying or going? Relax. He's not going anywhere. There's nowhere to go.
we've already predicted how it's going to go down. He accounts for like 5 or 6 touchdowns in the Alamo Bowl. He's on the stage getting his Alamo Bowl MVP trophy. He takes the mic and he says, "I'll see you next year, Sooner Nation," and then just drops it. It's like a WWE promo. It's going to be perfect. Can't wait.
That's it.
Just don't say I'm back or we're back, because that's literally like the one thing people remember about Ellinger. Like, that's the one thing.
I know.
The guy had a pretty solid career at Texas, and that's like, you mentioned that guy's name, he's like, "Oh, the I'm back thing." Oh, hilarious. You're just like, wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay. Bowl game highlights from the weekend. Did you watch any games? Were you laying on the, because I was just laying on the couch like all weekend for the most part, and I was soaking in the Boca Raton Bowl.
I watched bits and pieces of quite a bit of things, but I didn't sit there and watch any game really start to finish.
No, I was on my phone, and like I wasn't like locked in, but I did like what I saw from Bailey Zappi. I mean, that is a guy. You remember last year when Houston Baptist almost beat Tech? Do you remember that game?
Yes.
And the like Stearns brothers were just running wild on him. Zappi was the quarterback for them in that game. And I remembered that name, being like, that's a weird name. That guy threw it all over the yard on him, though. But he set a bunch of records in the Boca Raton Bowl. Western Kentucky smacked App State 59-38. And, man, Zappi had some absolute dimes in this game. There's no doubt he can play, but ends up setting 2 single-season passing records in this one. Broke Joe Burrow's single-season touchdown pass record of 60. Zappi ends up with 62 touchdown passes on the year, and also broke B.J. Simon's single-season passing yards record. Bailey Zappi, the best passer in any single season in college football history. What the hell?
It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, they've been putting up huge numbers all year. That's nuts, though. Those 2 records, not easy to beat. And I thought Burrow ended up with like 70 touchdowns. Is that counting like the playoff?
I don't know. All I know is they were making a huge deal out of it on the broadcast. They were like, Burrow's got 60. Zappi's got to light it up today. And boy, did he ever. And he ended up with 62.
Well, Burrow threw like 35 touchdowns against us at the Peach Bowl, so
he could have thrown 10 in the first half. We laugh about it because it was so painful.
Oh my gosh, brutal.
So some people may hear that and be like, why should we care about Bailey Zappi? Well, OU fans should care about it a little bit, because the offensive coordinator calling the plays for Bailey Zappi is a guy named Zach Kittley. And Western Kentucky, you look at what they did last year compared to this year offensively. Last year, they averaged 19 points per game. This season, they finished, after what they did in this one, they finished averaging 44.2 points per game. And Kittley will be the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech next season. He took that job, Joey McGuire. So he was at Tech before. He was one of the guys that helped Coach Mahomes, I guess. But that's how it all ties in a little bit, is that Zach Kittley is a name that we need to remember, because this guy lit it up calling plays at Western Kentucky. And it sounds like this is a guy that is climbing the ladder quickly, Ted.
Yeah. So is Cumbie out? Because they had said originally that he was staying, right?
He took the head job at Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
So, yeah, Sonny Cumbie's a head coach.
Nice.
Like permanent.
So
I know you're going to root hard for Louisiana Tech now.
Yeah, I'll root hard for him. I thought maybe that Louisiana Tech would go after maybe Tim Rattay, who at Oklahoma State. He's from there and he coached there previously, but Cumbie, okay. See how it goes.
And this is the last question I've got for you when it comes to bowl games that happened this weekend. There were two pretty bad results. Okay, first, yes, Deion Sanders landed Travis Hunter. He's the number one recruit in the country. That's awesome. But Jackson State got smacked in the Celebration Bowl by South Carolina State, 31-10. I mean, they got smacked in what is called, or what is known as the HBCU National Championship game. But that was bad. Did you happen to catch the end of the Cure Bowl between Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina?
I didn't, and this is one of the games where I watched a pretty decent chunk of, and Coastal Carolina, they look good. They look like they were going to cruise.
Northern Illinois, fourth down. They throw, like, this is at the very end of the game. Fourth down, throw it out.
I did see this. I did see this.
Where the refs just like panicked.
He's like, wind the clock.
Let the game end.
Yeah.
They literally stood. Now, first of all, the guy dropped the ball. So it should have been incomplete and game over, right? Okay. Yes. But that's not what happened. They ruled it a catch, and then they set the ball, and the ref, so this is how it's supposed to work, people. The ref standing over the ball is supposed to clear the offense before they wind the play clock. Like, he holds you up, and then he gets time to get out of the way before the play clock starts, right? To get the chains reset on a first down. The guy just stood over the ball and wouldn't let him snap it. They didn't sub, and the game just ended. It was insane. I cannot believe Northern Illinois wasn't losing their mind. It was insane.
Well, they were. The coach lost his mind. And the other thing is, if they ruled it a catch, he was out of bounds. Should have stopped the clock.
Yeah, and that was
which originally he stopped the clock.
Did you see the signal? So he went overhand, cross the arms overhead. That is, the clock is stopped. But then he like looked to the umpire and he like did a hand motion. This is why you should watch on YouTube, people. You can see all my hand motions. He did like this little like this, which when you wind the clock, it's a big like windmill. He just did like this little circle with his finger. He panicked, dude. He freaked out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. That was crazy. And I can't believe the head guy didn't like try to get a grasp on the situation. Like, there should have been a like I said, if they're ruling that a catch and it was a first down, they should have like buzzed down to like review it, or that was bad. It was bad.
Those refs
it all
got
happened
off
so
that
fast
field.
though.
They got off that field as fast as they could.
Oh man.
Like I do not care about Northern Illinois. I do not care about Coastal Carolina. I was offended. By the way, like my wife was like, "What is wrong?" I was like, "These kids just got screwed. This is ridiculous." And she's like,
well, I watched it too, and then I was waiting for something to happen, and it was just like, all right, that's it. We'll see you guys later.
It was unreal. I was furious. I didn't know, like, I was mad. I was like, why am I so mad? Like, this game doesn't matter to me at all. We should have gotten one play for the game to be decided. That's why I was mad, because like, that's why I watched those stupid bowl games. I want to see those exciting like finishes, and we got robbed of it because the referee just like blacked out and forgot what he was doing with his limbs.
Even if you're a referee, you got to say, okay, whatever. Let's give him one last chance here. This is a bowl game. Who cares? Right? Everyone wants to see like a final play to win it.
Exactly. Oh, frustrating. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the weekend. But first,
concussions are a part of football. They don't have to be a part of your pool party. Nip the slip with Soft Rock's rubber safety surfacing and spend more time enjoying your outdoor parties and less time worrying about a slip and fall on your pool deck. Soft Rock of OKC specializes in customized slip-resistant decorative rubber surfacing for your pool decks, patios, walkways, and gym floors. Local business owners Heidi and Cody Clark at Soft Rock of OKC are ready to help you prevent that next slip. Visit softrock.com/OKC. That's SOFTROC.com/OKC for more information. The Clarks also own the Driveway Company. The Driveway Company has tailored solutions to eliminate all of your driveway problems. They can repair cracks, clean and seal your rotting grass-filled joints to prevent water damage, ultimately saving you thousands of dollars in future repairs. Visit thedrivewaycompany.com/OKC for all of your driveway repair needs. Learn more about Soft Rock and the Driveway Company by visiting their Facebook and Instagram pages or by calling 405-294-9834.
Yeah, and it seems like if you're going to do something to your pool, winter, perfect time to do it.
Time to do it. That's right.
Perfect time. Make sure you send your kids to Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School. Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School has a long tradition of educational excellence with a 12-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. No student is overlooked. Bishop McGinnis's college prep curriculum offers 22 AP courses. There are numerous clubs and organizations for students to join. And as a proud member of the OSSAA, there are 14 sports offered. If you want to provide the best possible educational and spiritual development for your children, contact Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School or visit bmchs.org. Financial aid is available. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
There are two people that pretty much unanimously everyone on the planet wants to watch them play golf. Tiger Woods and John Daly. Okay. Well, we got a treat, man, because Tiger Woods and John Daly's offspring, John Daly the second and Charlie Woods, they're coming up. They're both really good. John Daly's son is a freshman at Arkansas. They won the challenge this weekend, 36-hole challenge. Tiger and Charlie Woods got second. John Daly and JD the second, 27 under. Tiger and Charlie Woods 25 under. It was so awesome to watch all of the father-son combinations out there, and like how all the mannerisms and all that stuff, how in tune they are. And your boy, the 12-year-old Charlie Woods, looks like he's going to be legit.
I for one was shocked that he's so good at golf.
I know, right? Weird.
I mean, stunning. The kid's swing, it's just like, I watched quite a bit of it. And the entire time, number one, I was mad at my parents for not getting me into golf when I was a child, because it's like anything that if you start young, you're going to end up being better at it. And then number two, I just felt bad about myself watching him swing. Is that weird? Because I was like, that's great for that kid, but this makes me feel terrible.
It's awesome though that everything he does looks exactly like his dad. Just the way he moves out there, the way he mimics like the fist pumps and all that stuff. He's got a little bit of swag out there too. Did you see him make that putt and give Justin Thomas the money sign? This is awesome. This is great. I loved it.
I will say, it was fun watching Tiger, but at points it was clear like he's hurting.
Yeah.
Hurting.
Yeah.
But it was classic Tiger Woods. Like, yeah, but my leg almost fell off. It's fine. I'll just play. It's fine.
It's good to see him back out there though, man. It's because it really hasn't been that long, just over a year, right? Or maybe under a year.
Yeah, it hadn't even been a year, has it?
Yeah, because I think it was maybe right around the Super Bowl. Because he was doing some of that stuff for the Super Bowl, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, it hasn't been. Yeah, it hadn't been a full year yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it's good to see him out there. John Daly is so fun to watch. His son looks a lot like him. It's great, man. I loved it.
I love they cut to the fairway and Daly's just ripping a heater in the middle of the fairway. It's like just waiting for the guys in front of him to get off the green. He's just like smoking the hell out of a cigarette. You're just like, well,
the shocking part is he had shoes on. He's usually barefoot on the golf course. I saw this video of him earlier in the week. He's standing around with a group of guys, and I guess they were having like a closest to the pin chipping challenge. And he steps up there, like one drink in his hand, wedge in the other hand, one hands it, wedge shot, drains it. And it's just like, God, he's so cool to watch, man. It's fun.
Oh, I love John Daly. God, that was really fun to watch. They should do some more of that stuff. It was like feel good golf. I wasn't like nervous for anyone. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's probably limited how much you could do it before everyone, like it's kids that you never get to see. So that's what's cool. But I saw someone like a tweet, and it's so true. It's like, this is the first time Tiger Woods was not the not getting the most attention on the golf course, and it was his son. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
His son's going to be he's going to be a legend. Like we can all acknowledge that right now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
It's the head injury stuff, man.
Oh
it came
my
back
God, dude. Were you watching Red Zone today?
Yeah, I saw enough to see him carting Teddy Bridgewater off with his face mask off. So you have that, and then you had the Thursday night game with Parham going down non-contact. So we hadn't seen a whole lot of this recently, and then all of a sudden in one weekend you get like a wave of it. But it sounds like both guys are going to be okay. Teddy Bridgewater's got movement, Parham's got movement, and I think everything's going to be all right. But it's always scary whenever you see that, and it's weird to play in a game whenever something big like that happens, and then it's like the cart drives off, and it's like there's the whistle, and okay, here we go. It almost feels like, are we supposed to keep going? Like, is this supposed to be canceled or something? But you got to keep going out there and grinding through it.
Have you ever been in one of those games? Like face mask off?
Yep.
That's awful. It's
you met Frank Davis, the assistant strength coach, right? That was at OU. Gigantic dude.
Yeah, giant guy. Yeah, Frank. Gotcha.
I was with him in Detroit, and I saw him get hit. This is back whenever the wedge was still legal, and there's a whole backstory to this, but he and another guy collided on kickoff, and it like his helmet like broke in half. They had to stabilize him and cart him off, screwed up his neck. The other guy's face mask broke and was hanging off, and he was bleeding out of his eyeballs. Paul Smith broke both of his eye sockets. It's crazy, man. Biggest collision I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, I thought Frank was like, I thought it was over for him. It was brutal.
It's a reminder that football, but when the guys are as big and as athletic as the guys in the NFL are, man, really bad things can happen. It's not often, but yeah, both of those, what they showed Bridgewater, I was like, man, that dude can't buy a break. Like his leg almost fell off in Minnesota, and now and it sounds like he's fine moving all his limbs and everything, but I was just like, damn, man, how much bad luck can one guy have?
Brutal.
Whew. What a transition to a whiskey read. If you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you are doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. It's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. In 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnnie Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win the competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. Okay, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with UTEP. They lost to Fresno State in the New Mexico Bowl, but that fake QB sneak pop pass that they threw for a touchdown was absolutely sick. That was an awesome play.
I've always thought about that, like in my head, that people should do that. So it was cool to see someone pull it off. That was awesome.
Yeah. Also thought about going with Jake Paul. I don't watch boxing, but that clip of him knocking Woodley out was everywhere. I think everyone in the world has seen it. And that guy has made and is going to continue to make a fortune as a boxer. And I'll give him some respect. Seems like the dude really works at it. So
Well,
props
he
to that guy.
does. At the very beginning, like it was like, haha, some YouTube guys fighting, but now he's like 5 years in of nonstop straight training for MMA and boxing. So yeah, at this point, you're getting a professional boxer whenever you go in the ring with him.
Yeah, and I think he moved to like Puerto Rico or Costa Rica or one of those because he wanted to be able to just like focus on training. Like the dude is deep in it and
Yeah.
strong right. I'll give him credit. That's a strong right.
And I'm telling you that I don't know what the numbers are, but he is making incredible money doing it.
Oh yeah.
Like if you box, like it's got to be frustrating as hell for a professional boxer that did it all, like did the amateur thing and did like the Olympic thing and then transitioned into professional and just tried to get fights and make your way up the rankings to have a chance at the championship. And then there's this douche off of YouTube that's just decided to fight a celebrity and makes like $20 million a pay-per-view. It's got to be, they're way more than that now, but like whenever he first started, I bet have they said the numbers on the pay-per-view?
No,
it's got to be like $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, he's making a ridiculous amount of cash off this and he's undefeated. So,
yeah. And his brother could fight too.
Yeah. His brother's lost some, but hey, still dudes are killing it. But my winner of the weekend, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. For those of you that are new to the podcast, we once football season is completely over and gone with, we do a little thing we call FGTB around here, and that is football guys talking basketball. And we're going to do a little mini one right here, Ted, because an awesome game that I was at Saturday night, SGA with the game winner, the sidestep. He creates the space on Batum. Batum was just like, damn, I'm not even going to get to challenge that shot. He's so far away from me. And nothing but the bottom of the net to win the game at the buzzer. Listen, if the Thunder are going to win a game, this is exactly the way you want them to do it. At home and against the team whose draft pick they own in the next draft. So it's perfect. It's a perfect situation. And that's a shot we've seen Shai work on this year, and he's busted it out this season. And for him to hit a game winner on that, it was pretty awesome. And it kind of speaks to the work he's put in to improve his game. I'm not sure what the celebration dance he went with was, though. He called it the Lamar Odom dance. I listen, you win a game like that with a shot like that, you can do whatever you want, but let's calm down. Yeah, let's calm down on trying to replicate things Lamar Odom did, okay? You know what I'm saying, Ted?
Yeah, that was crazy. And you had the best video of it that I saw anywhere. That's a viral tweet, right?
Steady hand with the iPhone 8, which, by the way, now people are starting to make fun of me because I still have an iPhone 8. I know I need to get an upgrade, but I just really like the home button. Okay. I don't want the home button to go away.
I'm a 6S guy with my phone right now. That's real bad.
6S.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's old.
God, we need to get with the times, man. We
No,
sound
dude,
old as hell.
I want the button I'm with you. I don't want a new phone.
You don't want the government scanning your face. That's what you don't want.
That's true.
But a couple other things for that game. Josh Giddey.
200,000 views on that video.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Hopefully all those people find our podcast from that. Watch us on YouTube. It's all for the podcast, Ted. Come on. But Josh Giddey had 8 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists. It was, I guess no one knew he needed a couple points for a triple-double. They probably should have got him that, but whatever. He also missed a bunch of shots there in the fourth quarter, but he continues to impress. Lou Dort. Dude, Lou Dort, I swear, you look at what he's making and the way that he is producing on the court now. I don't know if there are any contracts that are better in the NBA. Like that may be the most team friendly contract in the entire National Basketball Association. Dude had 29 in this game, went 4 of 8 from 3. Like his improvement offensively continues to be just fantastic. And then Trey Mann, the rookie, he's exciting to watch, man. You talk about creating space.
Fly.
We've seen him dunk on some fools these last couple of weeks, man. Once again, this was a really fun game to watch. So don't be mad that they won, people. It was fun. Let's just have fun with the win.
Giddey's a hell of a passer, man.
Oh, yeah.
That one, he threaded the needle down the, through a couple of people for a layup was awesome.
Oh, you're telling on yourself. You've actually watched some basketball.
No, that was just a clip.
Just a clip, just a highlight.
Just a highlight.
Best part from this game, though, I wanted to share this. And if you have your kids in the car, maybe mute it here in about 5 seconds because there's going to be a quote. Luke Kennard had 27 for the Clippers. And at one point, I'm just chatting with him. All right. I'm like, hey, how you doing, Luke? Man, like, hey, everything all right? Holidays are stressful. Like, I'm just being stupid. I'd been drinking a lot of red wine. And he's like, man, he looks up at the scoreboard. He's like, not good, man. I was like, what? And at the time he had like 21 points. I was just like, tell me about it, man. Like, what's going on? And he just like is sitting there laughing. So I'm like, we're chatting, we're having fun. It's late in the fourth quarter. He hits a 3. And I did think he got fouled, but I didn't say anything. And he hits a 3 and it's right in front of me. And he gets up, turns around right in my face. Like I'm talking 2-3 feet from my face, Ted. It says, and fucking one. And I just started dying laughing. I was like, and my boy Ryan Johnson and I, we were like, what was that? I was like, Luke, I thought we were friends. And there's a dead ball the next possession. They're going, and it was a media timeout. And he walks over. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry. It was so funny.
That's great. I need to find that clip. I haven't seen that. Have you seen it on TV?
I haven't looked for it, but it like stared me right in the eyes, like into my soul. I was like, all right, okay.
Oh, that's great.
But the best part was him apologizing. He's like, it was almost like he's like, hey man, Tiger got out of the cage. I don't know. And I gave him the old soccer like thumbs up. I was like, hey, we're good. We're good. It was hilarious though.
That's funny.
All right, for my loser of the weekend, I thought about going with YouTube TV. I don't know if you saw everyone and their dog complaining about YouTube TV, but everyone was losing it on them for not getting a deal done with ESPN, Disney, whatever you want to call it, before bowl games started. All the cord cutters were up in arms, and they ended up getting a deal done on Sunday. So the people that switched to something else because they were so mad at YouTube TV only for it to be resolved a day later, that's hilarious to me. That's awesome.
The cord cutting, I've noticed, originally it was cheaper. It was cool. Hey, yeah, I'm cutting the cord. But now you've got like 50 different $5 a month subscriptions to stuff, and in the long run, it's probably just as much or more.
Yeah, I've stuck strong with the Cox cable, man. I've kept it the whole time. So, hey. But my loser of the weekend, the Arizona Cardinals.
Woo!
What was that? I mean, went to Detroit with a chance to clinch a playoff spot and got absolutely smacked by the Lions. And the Cardinals have been awesome on the road up to this point, undefeated on the road up to this point. And they just couldn't score points offensively. They couldn't put the ball in the end zone. And I'm not sure if Kyler Murray is hurt or what, but it just was not sharp at all in this game. And now it certainly doesn't help that DeAndre Hopkins is out for the foreseeable future with the MCL, but man, Kyler didn't really look like himself in this one, especially when he was scrambling around. He didn't look, normally when he's scrambling around, he looks like he's in like 2 times speed.
Right.
He looked in about 1 1/4, 1.5, which is probably how some people listen to this podcast.
Looked humid.
Yeah, it was, he didn't look as ridiculous as normal. And hit a weird interception. I know he was mad at AJ Green, but I didn't think that was a good decision with the football, with how long he held it. He got outplayed by Jared Goff. And I know it's not how football works, but Jared Goff was really solid and Kyler Murray just was off. I don't know, man. The Lions, they beat him up.
I didn't see that one coming. I think it was 17-0 at halftime, I think. And I was like, surely that's flipped around. Like, that's not right. But yeah, look at Campbell getting the boys going up there late, trying to make a late run in this thing. Get to that elusive 4-win mark, maybe.
So I think I understand the origin of why the Lions beat the Cardinals in this game. There's something I saw on Saturday. The Cardinals owner, I think his name's Bidwell. I think that's right. He bought him a team plane. So for those of you that don't know, like NFL teams, for the most part, you just fly on like a charter flight, whether it's United or Delta, like you just go get on one of those planes. Now the Patriots have their own plane that Bob Kraft got him. And now the Cardinals have their own plane. I think they're those are the only two teams
That's right.
that have their own planes. And the Cardinals flew to this game in their brand new plane for the first time. And they've got like the first class pods, like when you're flying to Europe, that can lay all the way back. And like you got the TV set up. And
so is that for how many of those do they have in there?
28.
Woo, starters, huh?
Yeah, so like every starter is getting the first class pod, and the other seats for the rest of the roster are like all business class setups for the coaches and the rest of the roster. Like it's legit. But I could see Dan Campbell being like, these soft ass bitches.
Oh yeah,
flying in their fancy plane. Let's hit them right in them. Let's show them who's tough. Like grit, Detroit. Hell yeah.
Bite their leg off, right? Isn't that what he said in the
kneecaps?
Kneecaps. That's awesome. He is such a good dude. I hope that he has success there. I hope he does. And hey, that's a nice win. Got to get it rolling somehow.
Yep. It was fun. I couldn't believe it. I watched a lot of that game. I was just like, damn, they're just
I'm shocked
them up.
That every NFL team doesn't have its own plane.
Me too, at this
it's
point.
So much cheaper over time. Like Bob Kraft, I think I read somewhere that I think he got that jet at like some major discount because it was like it was used to be an airliner, you know?
That's the only way I buy my jets is when they're like really on sale.
When they've got a lot of miles on them.
Yeah, when they've really racked up some miles.
But it is super expensive to do those charters, and you're doing, you know, what, at least 10 a year. And if you're a playoff team, you know, who knows how many you're doing. And gosh, over time, it's got to be way cheaper.
There's got to be someone that's got like a lot of knowledge of like plane costs that can explain to us, that listens to this. I'm just there's going to be one person that this applies to perfectly, that like knows a lot about how much those jets cost and like why teams wouldn't do that. There's got to be a reason, right? That every team in the league just doesn't have their own plane, right?
I guess you end up having like insurance exposure. You got to insure it as well. And I don't know if they charter it out, the Patriots plane, you know, if he charters it out and whenever they're not using it in the off season to other.
That's like how you pay it off.
Right.
Yeah.
That would make sense, but
they do that with yachts.
That's right.
So I don't know. Someone that is smart enough and knows enough about that stuff, let us know. YouTube comments or tweet us. On that note, episode 174 in the books. We were all over the place in this episode.
That's a good one. I loved it.
It was great. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop Thursday morning. Actually, are we going to record? We're going to record a little earlier on Wednesday. So maybe a little earlier, like a Wednesday night drop.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, you can hear Teddy from 2 to 6 on 94.7 The Ref. You can hear me from 3 to 5 on SiriusXM Big 12 Radio, channel 375. Hope you all have a great week. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening and do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.